Put him up. Put him up.
No, he can clip his fucking nails.
I'll knock your eyes out of socket, but God beat me to it. That's not nice.
I like it.
That's not nice.
Hello. Cool, that looks pretty good. How you looking?
Hello, Walt. If you come up here, you're gonna get popped in the nose.
Popped in the nose.
It's hard not to love pugs, though, man. It really is. Like they're just. They ain't ever done nothing wrong. Like, you know what I mean? other small dogs are yippy, and even puggles. Like, I don't know why people love puggles so much because they're ornery. They like to run. Pugs ain't never hurt nobody.
No, Walt. I tell him all the time that he's Chinese, and he was bred to be lapdogs for Chinese emperors, and that's why and it makes a lot of sense too. And that's actually true, and.
I thought those were Shih Tzus, or is that?
I think there's a couple of different kinds, but
okay.
pugs as well. But
where did the Chinese come up with pug?
I don't know. I don't know if that's what they actually called them back then. But they make statues of them too.
Do they really?
They look more like dragons, but they're supposed to be representations of the pugs that the emperors had and shit like that.
How are pugs and dragons in the same?
Well, they're not, because they're Chinese. The statues of them look kind of like dragons, but they're just like real. Because if you look at them, they got the pug eyes.
So the Chinese
pug,
architects aren't very good.
Shit.
They can't determine the difference between a dragon.
I think they're just trying to make them badass.
Pudge-faced dog.
But he and a lot of pugs are like super super loyal. They always want to be around. They get pissed off if you leave them alone.
Oh yeah.
Like, so it makes sense that they were like lap dogs.
Oh, shit. I'm not denying that. I'm just trying to get the pug dragon.
Oh yeah, no, like if I could
connection here, and I'm failing.
If I could remember what they called the statues, I'd look them up. But like if you looked at them in the face a little bit, it looks like they mixed a pug with a dragon, because it has pug features too, like the big lips.
Well, that sounds kind of badass.
But like you've seen like drawings of like Chinese dragons and stuff. They don't look like normal like Game of Thrones type dragons. They got like weird whiskers and shit.
Well, that's true. You're right. I think we cartoon dragons up a little bit in our culture.
We made them like more Well, they make them reptiles too. They look more reptilian as opposed to like weird fantasy creatures and shit.
They're not fantasy creatures. They're real life, man. There's Komodo dragons.
Well, I guess. Komodo dragons. Komodo dragons
are maybe the most overrated animal. Like, you can't be what they are and be called a dragon. Like, that's just...
They're just giant lizards.
Yeah, big-ass lizard.
They have venomous saliva.
Do they? I thought that was the Gila monster. Are they the same thing?
No, if you get bit by one of them, it'll fuck you up real bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, well, apologies to the Komodo dragon.
Probably, I mean, if one does it, probably another one does it too.
I'd like to apologize on behalf of the Komodo dragon community, because I don't need them coming after me. They got poisonous saliva.
Yeah.
I thought they were just big ass lizards. I thought they were like big ass. Well, I thought they were just big ass like iguanas, where they're like kind of scary, but they're not dangerous.
That's what I always pictured them as. I just pictured them as just like giant flying dinosaurs in a way. Like, I mean, isn't that if dragons really existed? Wouldn't that be where they came from?
Yeah, well, yeah. When you're a kid, dragons and dinosaurs kind of But then, do you ever look at like a Crack.com article, or like don't do this stuff if you ever want your childhood to be ruined, because like they'll tell you like the T-Rexes like had feathers.
No, they're saying most dinosaurs had feathers.
Most dinosaurs had feathers,
or fur. Some of them had fur. Like,
right.
You'll see velociraptors that are like fuzzy and shit.
Which, I mean, still kind of cool, but it just kind of... Well, I don't know about the feathers. Nothing makes you tougher with feathers. But the fur's all right, I guess. But it kind of deters just everything that you know.
Well, I mean, if you look at dinosaurs, the way they've represented them and shit over time, and then look at like large birds like emus and ostriches and shit, they are kind of similar and shit. Like the way they walk and there's bone structures and shit. I don't know. Maybe it was like an evolutionary thing where it was like reptilian and bird.
Don't talk about evolution if we want to get the Jesus group on our
That's
on
true.
our side here. They
That's
don't believe in dinosaurs. Josh actually doesn't believe in dinosaurs.
Really?
Yeah, well, I mean, his logic was like if you can make up a story about a man in the sky, why not make up a story about giant lizards?
Yeah, but there's actual proof.
That's what I try to tell him. I said
lizards.
there's fossils and stuff, and he's like, you can't plant the fossils. Like it's a cool story.
Plant the so Josh is like very similar to like a young Earth Christian. Then
You talk to Josh and ask him why he doesn't believe in dinosaurs
That's
because
crazy.
that's what I said. I'm like, dude, they've been digging up fossils for forever, and he's like, have you ever seen one of these fossils? How do you know?
I have. And like there's a museum in Canton. that has
Those are
dinosaur
museums, yeah, but you don't know. You didn't go touch them. You didn't go run a DNA test on them and know they're fossils.
That's true.
They could be dog bones.
But
You
I mean,
don't know.
with that thinking, you can't trust anybody for anything.
I think that's kind of the idea.
Well, I mean, I even. You really can't. When it
No,
comes down
you
to
can't.
It. The
You
only
don't-
person
you
you
don't
can really
know.
trust is you.
You
yourself.
don't know anything that you haven't seen before. Like you just can't. So
Yeah.
obviously none of us have seen dinosaurs. So is it a possibility that like someday somebody just decided to have this big conspiracy about giant lizards that ruin the world?
Exactly.
It's you can't say they didn't
I-
because you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Josh is right. He could very well be right. But at the same time, I'm thinking like, how is everyone in on it?
Because that's what's been taught after generation.
But you'd think somebody would have figured it out and been like, "Whoa, dude, this is bullshit."
There probably is somebody out there saying it's bullshit, but it's you just dismiss it as hearsay. I mean, there probably is somebody out there. There's probably some whack job with a tinfoil hat saying dinosaurs are bullshit.
Yeah.
They probably are. I mean, you throw it on YouTube right now,
like
you'll
I
find
said,
something.
Young Earth Christians and shit. Like even though a lot of Christians will say that like dinosaurs never existed, but and you're right. I guess it's entirely
well, and we're not
possible.
going to get into a religious discussion right now by any means.
Yeah.
But like, if the idea of Jesus in the Bible never existed and somebody came up with it today, you'd be like, okay, cool story, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's what we know and it's what we believe because it's what we've been taught to believe in. But on the other side of the world, they believe in other. It's highly unlikely everybody's right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there a Buddha and
the
Allah
odd thing is
and
a lot of the religions are the same. They're all based on the same principles, have a lot of the same stories and shit. But yeah, I mean, I guess you're right, and that's a good point too. Like, would anybody believe the story if they were just told today? And like, what if Jesus came back? You know what I mean? Would anybody believe it?
No, I mean the people that saw it would, but it's and God, we're going Jesus to aliens, and there's probably hundreds of people that will truthfully, honest to God, believe in their gut they were abducted by aliens and tell you about alien encounters.
Yeah.
And the rest of the world says, no, man, it didn't happen because the rest of the world's telling us it didn't. But to a couple hundred people, it did.
Yeah. Shit, dude. Really, what it comes down to it is nobody knows a damn thing.
Nobody knows
nothing. We just have a really good idea. Some people have really bad ones, but some people are real close. You know what I mean?
There's a very small handful of people that think Coheed was good after the third album, and they're just wrong.
Oh! You didn't like No World for Tomorrow?
It's got a couple good songs, man.
I wasn't a fan of No World for Tomorrow
couple
too.
Good songs,
but many people think that No World for Tomorrow is in that group with the first three, and I don't agree.
We talked about this last time. I don't think the third one's in the group of the first two, but I think it's better than No World for Tomorrow.
I think the third one was the start of their change. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, and Second Stage is so drastically different than the second one. Like,
it's incredibly different. Yeah, it is. It is. The first one is definitely it's the easiest one to probably pick up and listen to. You know what I mean? Like, Second Stage is probably the easiest one you can just pop in and listen to because the songs are shorter. They're a little more hook to it. You know what I mean?
It
doesn't have that formula like everything else. So Second Stage kind of leads into it, and then you've been on the spaceship with them the entire time.
I have.
Yeah.
I'm at that point now where, like, even if the stuff they put out today isn't what those first three albums, I'm just happy to have more. You know what I mean?
You're a super fan.
Like, I just
I've enjoyed the new record. I've enjoyed the new record quite a bit.
Way.
I think it's good, and I'm at that point now where what's old is new again because not a whole lot of new stuff out there that I really enjoy anymore. So,
dude, I've been like that for years now.
Hey, you throw a new Coheed record my way, I'll give it a really fair listen. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah, the new one I enjoy a lot. It's still not better than the first three,
right?
I think it's better than a few of them. Walt, you need to sit down, buddy.
You need to bug off. And that's not a knock on your eyes, Walt. I apologize. It's just it's just an expression.
I know you want attention. You hear discussion. I guess we just put in a little mini bonus pod in there.
There's a tiny mini bonus. Oh, well, this isn't. I need to join you guys on the jam up or something to get into the deep dives and talking about all sorts of offshoot topics.
I definitely want you on Jam Up because it's fun to just talk something other than wrestling
sometimes. But there's a lot of wrestling to talk about.
There is. And
with that,
welcome to Ohio Wrestlecast. This is number 10, is it not?
This is number 10. We were talking about doing big plans for 10, have all sorts of ideas, and then schedules get busy, and the last time we were on here we were talking about how there wasn't a whole lot to talk about. But I think here for 10 there's a shitload to talk about.
Yeah, we spoke way too soon.
Yeah, we really did.
There's been a lot of time in between one of the two.
Maybe a little bit of both, but there's a lot of things happening, a lot of things on the horizon, and it's a damn good time for us to sit down. We got the tall beers today.
We do.
We got the tall beers today because we're not going to get up
because we got a lot to talk about.
We got a lot to talk about. This is how serious we take this podcast. We're not getting up for more beer.
Nope.
We're staying right here with you guys.
Yeah, Walt might go crazy if we get up.
Walt's gonna be furious.
And I apologize in advance if Walt interrupts at some point. But,
if Walt has some valid viewpoints and some interesting takes on the Roman Reigns story, then I'd like to hear him. But I don't know that he does.
Yeah, if we could even understand them anyway.
I don't know that he does.
But you want to start with Roman Reigns then?
Well, I guess we can maybe start because we got a lot to talk about. But maybe we'll start with most recent and work backwards. I guess.
Okay.
Man, oh man, did that come out of nowhere?
Yeah, dude, I didn't see it coming at all. The weird thing is, I didn't watch it when it happened. I didn't know it was happening, and I was talking to somebody on like Facebook Messenger or something, and they said something about Roman Reigns, and I was like, what? And then like 2 seconds later, my brother messaged me. I was like, dude, that sucks. Roman Reigns has leukemia, and I was like, what the fuck? I had no idea.
I had no idea either, and I guess according to some of the reports, almost everybody in the company didn't really know. I mean, obviously the higher ups did; they knew what he was doing, but the boys and stuff didn't know. I remember reading over the weekend, just on some of the sites, that he missed some house show shots, and they weren't sure if it was an injury or whatever. You're dinged up, and you're the top guy, and they're probably not going to put you out there in a house show. It's not real. That wasn't big news.
Yeah.
And I don't faithfully watch Monday Night Raw. I don't make sure I'm sitting in front of the TV every night at 8 o'clock. Like, if I find myself in front of the TV at 8 o'clock, I'll put it on. That's really what it was. It was just like, all right, yeah, I was done with my stuff for the day. I'm going to sit down and watch Raw. Reigns comes out to do his promo and street clothes and everything, and shit came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And we talk about it on this podcast, and just anybody who's wrestling will talk about Roman Reigns being pushed down your throat, and sometimes you kind of feel like, man, I just kind of wish he went away, but it's your heart has to go out for a young guy. Cancer doesn't prejudice at all.
No.
It just doesn't.
Nope.
And leukemia doesn't have any prejudice at all. If you're targets, you got a young guy with a family who's a top physical athlete. Doesn't matter. And
yeah, he's part of a legacy there, and
yeah,
it's so crazy. When I watched it, everything was going normal. Even the audience didn't suspect a thing. You know what I mean? And as soon as he said, for the last 11 years, I've been living with leukemia, I believe is what he said.
Which I don't think anybody. I mean, I didn't know that.
Neither did I.
That's
not something that's been
day and age
talked about at all.
You kind of have backstories on everybody, and I never knew that.
Yeah, I didn't know it either, and apparently neither did 99% of the audience, because the moment he said that, all the boos and chants and shit just died.
No, it got really fast.
Drop, yeah, and shit got real quick.
Yeah.
It was, dude, I was genuinely sad.
Oh, yeah.
Hearing him say, I wasn't a fan of his, really. I mean, I didn't hate him like everybody does.
And it doesn't even really matter if you're a fan or not. You're a fan of the product. You're a fan of anybody who goes out there. If Zack Ryder did it, you would really feel bad for Zack Ryder, even though, Zack Ryder doesn't have the moments that Roman Reigns does. But you would, this is a guy, it's a human being, first and foremost. But it's somebody that you watch every week that goes out there and does a job that entertains, and to know that they're going through, and me, having a family and everything too. I know, he has 3 young kids too, and a wife and everything. So you think of them first, and then you think, and you think about maybe the later down the line the financial ramifications. So this is a guy who's on top, making a lot of money for him and his family, and this disease that he has no control over, didn't do anything wrong. You know what I mean? Yep. That's going to dramatically affect his life right now.
At least for they're projecting he won't be back for like 2 years.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, your health comes first and foremost, and nowadays with the technology we have, you hope for the best, and you kind of have a pretty good feeling that things will come out well for him, but it's gonna be a long ride.
Yeah. Or who knows? I mean, he's done it. He apparently he's dealt with it before and beat it, or went into remission at least. Mm-hmm. Who knows? John Cena came back in like half the time he was at one point when he was out for a long ass time.
And yes, I don't know. I don't know the difference between rehab facilities and medicine and everything that they have, whether a disease as opposed to an injury. But I mean, he is an absolute, incredibly, gifted physical athlete. Obviously a tough dude, and you hope between the medical science out there and his resolve that he'll get back sooner than later, and come back healthy and back doing what he loves to do.
For sure. This definitely this put me on Team Roman for sure. I mean, I wasn't not on Team Roman before, but it just
you didn't have to
didn't care that much. Now I'm genuinely like wishing the best for him.
And you don't have to be a fan of his wrestling ability, but you can be a fan of the human being. Yeah. And if you're not, then I mean, I feel sorry for you that you can't. if your love or whatever it is for wrestling is that intense, where you're happy that the guy you don't like has a life altering disease, then you need to scale back a little bit.
Well,
I'm hoping that nobody listens to us feels that way, and I mean, I'm sure there is some out there that are that serious in wrestling that are like good, but obviously strip it all back. You got a human being with a family that goes out there and busts his ass, and he's in for a really tough fight. So
for sure.
But that kicked off the show.
Yeah.
Then you get to the end of the show, Monday Night Raw, where it's a controversial ending. It was, we had Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins taking on McIntyre and Ziggler for the tag titles.
Yep.
Dean and Seth get the win, and then afterwards comes the Dean Ambrose turn, which has been rumored about, teased on TV.
Honestly, I didn't think it was going to happen.
Nobody thought it was going to happen. Not that night, and that's where the controversy's coming into play. That was it the right night to do it? Yeah. And for me, listen, man, absolutely was the right night to do it, because in pro wrestling, that's what you do. Like, if there's a real life scenario, and Roman Reigns knows this more than anybody at all. Okay. He had a real life scenario. Nobody beat the crap out of Roman Reigns that night. If he did that, no, I'd have a problem with that.
Yeah.
All right. But everybody's emotions are running high. You want the feel good moment for Dean and Seth. Everybody wants it. Dean squashes it. Shits all over it. That's real heat. If he would have done it next week or the week before, there would have been cheers from the crowd, because there's people that have been expecting it, that feel like Dean's better in that role anyway, and it's gonna be something fresh, and that's all correct.
Yeah.
They do it on that night, and you want real heat. That's how you do it.
Well, not only that.
And Roman knew they were going to do that. I guarantee Roman, as a worker, as somebody who understands how to generate heat and generate future business, Roman would have been like, well, fuck yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're going to do it on this night. Like, no.
Absolutely. I'm sure he's a team player, for sure. I mean, he's proved it time and time again.
Yeah.
But and all of what you said, plus they had just won the tag team title.
Sure.
Which threw a loop in there. Like,
it does.
You definitely don't see it coming after that.
It does.
Like, how's that going to play out now?
Well, you remember a couple episodes ago when I talked about how it's the Batman theme, the same bad time, same bad channel, where you want to tune in, you want to see what happens next.
Yep.
Is anybody who saw that, are you going to miss Monday Night Raw next week? You know what I mean?
Not a chance.
You're going to tune in to see why. And that's been done for forever. When there's a big turn, you want to know why. There's going to be a promo. They might draw it out a little longer. You know what I mean? But you want to know why. And something like this, you definitely want to know why.
Yep.
And they could go with so many angles because you're right. They won the tag team titles that night.
Mm-hmm.
So you could play it one of two ways. Is he, is he still that mad that he's being overshadowed? Or, Ambrose always kind of played that lunatic gimmick where, like, something that just couldn't control it.
He was slamming his hands down in the ring.
It felt like he couldn't control it, like
he was just
taking over.
Yeah, almost like an alternate personality.
Right,
He was fighting himself.
They could go with that angle and go forward with that, or
that would be cool. Because I've always said that, like, I don't feel like he should be called the lunatic fringe. He's not that crazy. He's a pretty normal dude.
Right. If you compare this in real life, or like say your best friend betrays you. What if he comes out Monday night and just like, I don't know what took over me, and I'm sorry, and then he's probably going to turn again. You know what I mean? But it strings you along a little bit, because if that was your best friend that actually betrayed you, you would want to just have any sort of sympathy, or remorse, coming from him. You'd want to just anything at all to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What did you do? I don't know. And you have all these emotions running between Roman announcing that he was sick and then winning the tag team titles. Everything's on the highest high, and that's when you crush it.
Yeah.
You bring them all back down.
Burst that bubble.
Yeah, if you're right here, and then it's not that big of a deal. But your buddy is terribly sick. He's gone.
Yeah.
We win the tag team titles from the big bad guys. We're up here.
No.
Boom. I mean, and you bring it all down. That's real heat. And now everybody wants to know why. Everybody wants to know what the next chapter is. They did it the first time when Seth turned on them.
You
missed that?
I wasn't watching at that point. I've heard about it, but I can't remember enough.
Mark catches up on everything episode.
We do. I've saw certain things. I know that, like, he attacked him with a chair while they were there. They didn't see it coming. Like, Triple H was calling some shit, and basically Seth turned on him right then and there and went with Triple H.
Well, what happened, briefly before that was that, the Shield had run rampant the entire time. They had a little over a 2-year run where they very rarely lost, especially as a 6-man, right? Triple H and Roman was kind of like where the main tiff was, but he was feuding with the Shield. He brought back Batista, and so it was Batista, Randy, and Hunter. Like, hey, Evolution, this is the guys to beat. They had an awesome 6-man. It was one fall to the finish. The Shield won. The next month they did like a no holds barred 6-man elimination. All 3 Shield, nobody got pinned. They pinned all of Evolution, right? So the Shield conquered the bad guys, and like in the middle of the ring, they're all like laying out, reaching their hands in the middle, and I mean it was awesome. And that's the highest high. Wow. They smashed the bad guys. Then the very next night on Raw, Seth Rollins hitting them in the back with a chair and bringing it down brings you right back down. Yeah. I remember seeing a meme on Facebook or something where they on Wikipedia showed the Shield, 2010 died 2013 or whatever it was, and like with a big giant sad face, like the Shield was a group with and it's but that was huge heat for Seth Rollins. That's what propelled him as a single star. He became a big top-notch heel. That's the best time to do those turns, is when the emotions are at an all-time high. You crash them back down.
Dash those dreams.
Biggest low. Yeah, that's your best turn.
No, I that makes perfect sense. Ride that wave, and that's what they did. They rode that wave all the way back down. And
so we're all going to be watching Monday and see what happens next. But before Monday, we got Sunday, which is it's a evolutionary pay-per-view coming up. Kind of interested to see what your take is on the whole thing. I'll let you kind of just give your whole thoughts on the. We're talking, of course, about the Women's Evolution pay-per-view, all women pay-per-view. No doubt about it, the leaps and bounds women's wrestling has taken in the last couple of years. It's a positive thing. I mean, there's just no way anybody can tell me there was a better women's match on. In Japan, I'm sure they had them, but like, there's never a better women's match in the States in WWE or WCW or anything prior to just any of these Charlotte and Becky matches. There's never anything better. There's never anything better than the Sasha and Bayley matches. Like, so the wrestling itself, there's undoubtedly is way better than it ever was before. But we have an all women's pay-per-view. We can talk about the matches themselves, but I'm kind of wondering what your take is on the whole show as a whole. Yeah.
I like the idea of an all women's pay-per-view. I like that they're going to throw a battle royal in there. That's cool. But when it comes down to it, is there enough truly good talent to pull it off?
That's kind of where I'm at. Because I'll tell you where I'm at. I don't know if I'm going to watch.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm going to watch. I'm not as psyched as I would be for something else.
I don't know.
I'm psyched for certain matches.
Yeah, I'll watch Charlotte and Becky wrestle every time. And Ronda Rousey is over enough right now where I'm not a big Nikki Bella fan.
Oh yeah.
But I'm interested in that match. I'm being honest with you. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
The Battle Royal too. I'm not like super excited, but the
thing about the Battle Royal is that they had it was revolutionary for them to have their first Royal Rumble. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
And in January, I thought that was great. They had their first Royal Rumble. They got the main event, the show. All that was worthwhile. WrestleMania, they got their own Battle Royal at the beginning of the show, which Naomi won, and that's why nobody gives a shit about it now.
Yeah.
Not a Naomi fan, obviously.
Yeah.
And now they're going here again, and they got another Battle Royal, and it's like not everybody here is that's kind of I think what it is. Not everybody here is important enough for us to give you a match, give you a storyline, and there's maybe not enough TV time, or the talent isn't good enough yet.
Yeah.
To build everybody up, which I think they could be. Because I think Sasha and Bayley, I still think Sasha and Bayley had the best women's match in the States of all time. Their match at NXT a few years ago. Gotcha. I still think that's the best women's match in the States of all time. So you got these two that could give you a really good program if they had the time. If the ball was behind them, Natty can go, and then but even still, they're relying on Trish and Lita. Name value of an era where there wasn't women's wrestling. That's the thing.
They were probably the best they had to offer.
They were the best they had there, and they're definitely most over stars.
But they're not anywhere close to like Becky and Charlotte.
No, they're not.
Not even.
Molly Holly's going to be thrown in that Battle Royal. She was a very good worker, but it was at an era where it didn't matter. And they're going to throw, I'm just throwing it out there. I don't think Eve Torres is involved in that, but they're bringing in some of these names from the years past, but you're also telling us this is the women's evolution. The wrestling's so much better now. But here are these names from the past, which I can get, they helped get you there, but you're either telling me that these wrestlers now are way better, but here are these girls. So you're relying on their name value for us to tune in, and I'm just a little bit it kind of leaves you in between where you're I don't know that.
Well, it just goes to show that they aren't ready for an all-women's
That's
pay-per-view.
kind of where I'm at.
If they have to go back to the past, the women's evolution or revolution, they keep changing it up. Is it truly ready for this? Apparently not.
I don't think so. That's kind of where I'm at. When we had WrestleMania, we talked about Charlotte and Asuka being maybe one of the best matches of the night, and the Rousey performance got kind of stole the show.
Yeah.
Right, and Alexa Bliss has done a fantastic job with her character. So there was great women's action on WrestleMania, but it was a piece of a bigger product, right?
Yeah.
So. That being said, I'm looking forward to another Charlotte match, but what's Asuka doing? She's not doing anything. Alexa is being in there with Mickey against Trish and Lita, which again, it could be a nostalgia pop, but they were just out there for the Royal Rumble too. And if you're gonna keep going back to the well of, because if Alexa Bliss isn't built enough to go against another female wrestler, if Alexa versus Sasha isn't big enough right now to help sell a pay-per-view, then I don't think women's wrestling's there yet for a whole pay-per-view.
No, I agree.
That's and by all means, that's not shitting on the talent itself. I think it's just something that takes a lot of time, and it's going in the right direction, but it's not quite there yet.
No, there's not enough. I don't know how long it's gonna be, but fucking. I don't know how long it's gonna be, but maybe for an hour and a half long, almost like an NXT show, they might be able to pull it off.
Oh, I'd be cool with that. I'd be cool with 4 big matches.
Yeah, but this is not gonna be that.
I don't think so. And actually, as I sit here talking to you, man, what is the card? Because they got they do some NXT stuff going on. So you have the main's probably gonna be Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella.
Yeah, which shouldn't be. It should be Charlotte versus Becky for sure.
Charlotte versus Becky's been the one carrying the product. But that being said, Charlotte versus Becky they've done a good job with the feud. But we've already seen that match 4 or 5 times already now
yeah.
at this point. So while the match is going to be good, I'll enjoy it, I'm sure. It's not something that I'm going to sit down and go, I have to watch this.
Yeah.
I have. You know what I mean? It's
No,
because it's not there right now. We got the Battle Royal. Has everybody else left?
Yeah, which the main excitement for me in that is just seeing who's going to win.
Sure, I love Battle Royals. I'm a mark for a Battle Royal, I'll tell you that
I don't
all day.
expect any great, like,
No,
spots
but
or anything,
no, but I like Battle Royals, man. I always have.
It's my favorite match. It's my favorite pay-per-view. You know
we could, I'll tell you what, Mark. We'll get it on a bucket list. We'll get you in a real life Battle Royal sometime.
A real life
Battle Royal, yeah.
Shit.
We'll throw Mark Thomas out there. Nobody will, you're just a face in the crowd at that point. You'll probably get chopped by me and then get thrown over the top rope. But I'll get you in a Battle Royal at some point. That's gonna
fine.
be
As long as we film it, we can put it on the channel.
That's it. That's the idea. So you got the Battle Royal. You got Trish and Lita versus Mickey and Alexa. I think there's a 6-woman with I just seen Sasha and Bailey and Natty against the Riot Squad, which I like the Riot Squad. Fan of that group. But then I know they're doing the NXT title match. It's Baszler and Kairi Sane.
Oh yeah, I forgot that they threw in some
and they're
NXT.
doing the Mae Young Classic finals, which I'm honestly not sure who's in it. I did not pay attention this year.
I wasn't aware of that for some reason.
So I know those are the matches announced. All that, I mean, I don't know. I'll probably put it on, but I'm not. It's even the worst regular WWE pay-per-view, Backlash was one where it just didn't have a whole lot of steam going into it.
Yeah.
Still, had me more interested than what this does right now. And I think they might be just rushing it a little too bit.
Yeah, honestly, I'm probably more psyched for Crown Jewel than I am.
Well, and you know what? That was actually what I was thinking is, do you think this is just a response because the women aren't allowed to be on Crown Jewel?
I don't know if it's a response to that, but I think that's probably why they're doing it right now. You know what I mean?
I mean,
right
the timing is convenient enough.
Yeah, too convenient, I would think.
And there's quite a bit of backlash for the first Saudi Arabia show where the women weren't allowed to compete. Where
they actually, I don't know.
You think it's kind of their but they get their own show. I mean, maybe that PR.
I don't know. I mean, because I know that Saudi Arabia, they're pretty strict on that sort of thing.
They are.
So I don't even know if they might have some sort of censorship out there. I don't know. I'm probably sounding like an asshole right now.
Well, no. We might sound like assholes as we get into the Crown Jewel, which is going to be obviously the next topic here. We might sound like assholes a little bit because we're not that politically savvy. I'll never ever try to claim that I am.
No, me either.
I've never tried to claim that I keep up on world culture and world events like a lot of people do. Obviously anybody who's a wrestling fan and is listening to this podcast knows of the controversy that's happening in Saudi Arabia right now. But maybe what the God's honest truth is? I don't know if I would know about it if it wasn't for the WWE.
Honestly, you're right. The only reason I know as much as I do about them and the whole situation over there is because of the first time they went there. I was like, wow, this is weird. All the royalties around the ring. Like, are there women there? And then I'm looking and there were women there.
There are women there, yes. So they had to be accompanied by a man. It's,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they have to be accompanied by a man. Yeah, you can't, a girl and her girlfriend, they can't go out to enjoy the show. No, they had to be accompanied by a man.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. But the controversy currently now is that journalist was murdered in a Turkish embassy.
Yep.
Kidnapping gone wrong or an accidental kill. I mean, but basically the Saudi government is being held responsible. The Saudi government are the same people who are responsible for this long-term deal that they've cut with the WWE.
I think it was a 10-year deal, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe it's a 10-show deal, which I would think would be like once a year.
Would maybe even 5 years, because this would be the second show this year.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Right.
It hasn't been long.
They did one earlier, which ended up being kind of like a glorified house show, as we mentioned before.
They all are. Same thing with
Australia.
Yeah.
But, they bring out the big names, and there's big money. And what's being lost on all of this, we'll circle back to the political view of this thing, but Shawn Michaels is going to wrestle.
I know.
Shawn Michaels is going to wrestle here in a couple of weeks, and the excitement for that should not be as lukewarm as it is.
There's a guy at work that talks does nothing but talk shit about the legends and shit coming back. And I try to explain to him why it's happening. Because he's like, I don't want to see that. I was like, yeah, but the people of Australia do.
Yeah, people of Australia do. The people of Saudi Arabia do because they don't, I don't know, but I mean, I can't imagine they have the network as available as we do. They probably, this is probably the stuff that they know the best is the absolute top names only, which is I've heard that Hulk Hogan's rumored
and honestly,
being there.
I kind of do. If somebody told me that, like, WWE was coming to Canton, you know what I mean, was doing a house show, and Shawn Michaels was going to wrestle there,
we're much more likely to go. Much more likely to go. You could tell us AJ and Joe are going to wrestle for 60 minutes, and it's going to be awesome. Yeah, but we're more likely to go see Shawn Michaels, exactly. Super kick a job guy.
You're probably going to, I mean, God forbid something happens to either one of them, but you're probably going to see AJ and Joe. You're going to have many more opportunities.
These guys are draws. They're draws for a reason. Their name, and they've established their value. Money talks, man. This is really going to be the central theme of talking about Saudi Arabia as a whole is money talks.
Yes, it does.
Because, Shawn Michaels had said many, many, many times that he didn't want to come out of retirement. Now, in fairness, he's coming out of retirement to face The Undertaker again.
Yeah.
He said that was his thing. He wanted to have respect for The Undertaker. He wanted to be the guy who went away and walked away, did it the right way. He is coming out to face The Undertaker again, so storyline-wise, they can kind of justify it. But I know a lot of wrestling purists would say like, you're selling out, you're just cashing in on the payday. It's kind of hard to blame him. I mean, what is anybody's price? Because he's making 7 figures for this one match.
Oh yeah,
he's making 7 figures for one match. I mean, and I'm sure he's doing okay money wise. He has a family.
Tons of merchandise still selling.
And so do you want to have that pride of I retired? I said I'm retired. I'm good. What is your dollar amount to go back on your word? Because I guarantee it wouldn't take 7 figures to do it for me. For anything.
Yeah. For
anything, man. Like it's what's your price on your word? 7 figures. It's my price. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's kind of unfair to for us as fans to judge him. For like you used to, why wouldn't you come back out and wrestle AJ Styles? Well, I mean, if they offered him over $1 million, $2 million wrestle AJ Styles, he probably would have done it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but
it's not the same.
They were on Dinner for Three or whatever, and even AJ was talking to him about coming back, and he was very adamant about how he was not coming back, and here he is. But you also have to remember that it's the Undertaker, Kane, and Triple H.
And Shawn, and honestly, it's like almost like you're. Like, think of 4 like classic NBA players maybe just going out and playing a 2-on-2 pickup game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they know what they're doing. They're the best of the best. Go out there and they're going to entertain and make a nice paycheck. Yeah, that being said, it is that the only unfortunate thing is Shawn Michaels coming back was like kind of like the big one who's out there that could still have some really classic matches, some dream matches.
Yeah.
This isn't a dream match for anybody.
Not at all.
I mean, don't try to sell it that it is. WWE is first time that these two classic groups, DX and the Brothers of Destruction, the first time ever. We don't really care that much. It kind of tones down the Undertaker too.
Because I don't know if you watched the match in Australia.
It was pretty good.
It was good.
They had every bag of gimmicks.
Undertaker botched a couple times.
Yeah.
And he could have been just selling it really hard because they turned on him in the end. But Undertaker was not looking good. Like at the end of the match, he may have been selling it real hard, but Undertaker looked like he needed medical attention. I believe he was dropped on his head at one point.
He hasn't looked good the last few times he's been out there.
But that is the worst I've ever seen.
That's the worst you think? I mean, it was a slow-paced match,
not even the match. Just I don't know if you saw. At
you
the
think
end of the
so?
match,
You think he
they're
just
holding up their hands and shit? Like he couldn't even stand up. He had to like lean down. Like I said, I'd have to rewatch again, but I'm pretty sure he got dropped on his head at one point by accident. And
it's a possibility. I was
worried about him for a second. But
we're gonna have a tag match, and it's gonna probably be pretty by the numbers. I mean, they'll probably bust out a couple bag of tricks while they're out there, but they're not gonna put together a 5-star match. Nobody's anticipating that.
No, not at all. But I guess my point was with that is that it's Shawn Mike for for these 4 guys, this could very easily be something that they just did for fun at one point.
Exactly.
Getting together.
Exactly. It kind of feels that way. It kind of feels like I'm not a golf guy, but the PGA Seniors Tour, the name value. You're not going out there to watch the best action, but it's the name value that's important. But these motherfuckers are getting paid.
Yeah,
that's what sure. That's what it all comes down to. And that's what it really all comes down to for this show entirely. And I think today, Thursday, the 25th, it was the day that they announced that they are going to stick with Saudi Arabia because it was rumored that they were going to try to maybe move the venue inward because of all this controversy. And today is the day that they're saying they're going to stick to it. We can, if you want to, we can go back and forth with what the political ramifications are. And disclaimer, we're not educated on it. No. We're educated on talking about the wrestling. We're not educated on talking about the political ramifications. But what do you think? Do you think it's the right move? You think it's the wrong move? I mean, how do you feel about it, knowing what we know about what's going on over in Saudi Arabia right now?
I think because did they actually give out a statement about it, like an official statement? Because I didn't hear about it.
Just thought they were going to do it today, and I don't know if they released that official statement or not.
Okay,
it would be interesting to see.
As far as I know that they're still going, and they haven't. On every advertisement since it's happened, they have taken the name Saudi Arabia off of it. They
at the Crown Jewel event. At the Crown Jewel event, but not in Saudi Arabia.
And I only know that through watching. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
I think they should have made a public statement.
They still might. Again, I think today,
just so you know why and where they stand on it.
Yeah.
But I do feel like it would be a bad business decision for them to back out.
Business-wise, absolutely. You talk money, dollars, and cents, absolutely it's a bad deal to back out.
With it being as close as it is to the event itself, if anything, they should, if I was them, what I would do is I would fulfill my agreement for this one and then reevaluate how we're going to go from here on out.
Perfect. Yeah. I kind of agree with you too. And you can go on that stance as far as PR goes too. We'll be like, listen, we promised the people a show over there. We've advertised the show over there.
They still believe in this dream that this King guy has of this Vision 2018.
Right. Now, that being said, I remember JBL, who, by the way, is very, very, very smart guy. He's a controversial figure in wrestling, but JBL...
He doesn't come off as a smart guy.
But he is. He's an incredibly smart guy. And, you can agree with his viewpoints or not. He said that the only way to bring change is to bring change. It's, if you're going to just run away and not... try to come out there and influence them, and nothing's ever going to change. He mentioned in Abu Dhabi, they had the first women's match ever, women's competition ever in Abu Dhabi. Wow. I don't know if you saw it. They had to wrestle with their everything here, neck down, completely covered. They had their midriff, their legs were completely covered. Only their heads and hands were exposed.
Yeah, that's what I heard that they were going to require the women to do if they did go to Saudi Arabia.
If they did go to Saudi Arabia. But the fact they were competing in the first place, he said the fans chanted, "This is change." That's bigger than anything wrestling ever could be. This is the way that they treat human beings on the other side of the planet. That if the WWE is responsible for any of that, that's pretty awesome. I mean, it really is. So if that's still the end game, man, it's hard to not support that. We know the end game is money. They're in the business to make money. All the guys are going to get paid. The company's going to get paid big, big money to bring this huge product overseas into the kingdom. And it is. It could be a really positive thing, but there's such a negative cloud over them right now with this murder or botched kidnapping. I don't even know exactly what happened with that embassy
interrogation thing. Or something. Yeah.
So you got to be worried about the public backlash, but I think at the bottom line is Vince felt that the company could probably overcome it. If they get a little bit of negative backlash and they go and do that show, they have a good PR team where they can spin it, which it's not false that we're going over there trying to implement change. We're going over there trying to bring them a good, wholesome, entertaining product.
Yeah.
And, and if you bring up the thing about Abu Dhabi, which is it's in United Arab Emirates, it's a different country, but it's still the same portion of the world where they say, like, this is the change that we are implementing.
No.
I don't think there's any way you say no.
And I'm sure if Vince, somebody there has to realize that we're kind of living in a like 2-week news cycle where after 2 weeks nobody gives a shit anymore.
It's going to peter out. I mean, right now on the news is somebody shipped bombs to the Obamas and the Clintons' household. Yeah. That's here on our home turf. That's going to overshadow the news over there in Saudi Arabia. Yep. It just is. That's how it's. That's not a judgment on people.
That's just
the way it is.
Yep.
Now, what do you think about the card as a whole? I mean, they did it the last time. They stacked the shit out of the physical card.
They did.
But, ultimately, kind of, it was the world's greatest Royal Rumble. That's what it was, the 50-man Royal Rumble. Braun won.
I was psyched about that anyway. Yeah, because like I said, I don't know.
The Matter Royals.
Yep.
But kind of just left you going like, all right. So this card now, it's no longer triple threat, obviously, with what we talked about Roman. So Brock's going over to take on Braun.
Which has not been a good match in the past.
No, I love those hoss fights too. I love the match that had Joe, Reigns, Braun, and Lesnar. I think it was SummerSlam. I thought that was amazing.
When there's more people involved, they're good. They're good. But
Braun and Brock themselves hasn't quite delivered yet.
And who knows? Braun was really green back then. He's a lot better than he was.
Sure, absolutely.
So, maybe they'll surprise us, but it's doubtful.
Yeah. You got that tag team match we talked about with Shawn and Trips against Taker and Kane. Again, I don't think anybody's looking forward to a 5-star match. You're not going to get it.
No.
They'll bust out the bag of tricks. Shawn being back in the ring will be cool. We're going to have AJ. I mean, you got AJ and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan for the WWE title. And I just... I don't know if it's because of the political thing or if it's because that these overseas super shows haven't quite delivered yet, but I think the excitement's a little lukewarm on that than what it should be too.
Yeah, and they've been trying to build it up a little bit. They've been doing it weirdly by trying to make them be a tag team.
Right. They're good guys and they're buddies.
That's making them butt heads, though, I guess, which is the whole point in that. But, I mean, that's a weird way for them to build it up. But oddly, that's something they haven't been doing a lot lately, so maybe.
You know what I should have done? This is my fault, knowing I was coming over here to do a podcast with you. I have a DVD from Ring of Honor that's roughly almost probably 15 years ago to the day, 2003, main event, AJ Styles versus Bryan Danielson.
Oh, wow.
Awesome stuff. We actually saw them live in Cleveland. I think about 2006. Then? Yeah, there was Bryan Danielson was the heavyweight champion, AJ Styles was the challenger, and I think AJ got I think he got a busted nose legit, and they just kind of changed course where Danielson just worked over his nose, pulled it back, and boom, punched it.
Wow.
Worked over the nose. Really cool match. I think I got it both on DVD, buried in the closet somewhere. I'll have to pull those out.
That's awesome. Maybe they'll pull some shit out like that because they've been doing this accidentally hit you, and then they just did it again on SmackDown with the accidentally Pele kicked you in the head.
Both of those guys too. They're great athletes, and we love their wrestling. But both those guys fucking bring it with their strikes, man. Yeah, it could be a good physical match, and I mean, how do you not look forward to that one?
It's like two old friends putting on a show in the ring.
I've told you about it before. When you're in the ring with your friend, if I'm in the ring with a guy for the first time, hey, we'll bring it. We'll give it have a nice match. But if I'm in there with a guy that I know, is going to have a beer with me at the end of the night anyway, I'm going to fucking pop you, and he's going to pop me too, and we're going to beat the crap out of each other. We're going to put on a great show, and then we're going to be like, ha, good shit, man, and we're going to go have a beer afterwards. And that's so one of those things. I think that's something that we can expect.
No, that's something to look forward to. Yeah.
The World Cup tournament. Oh, this is something we didn't talk about. Did you hear about John Cena? John Cena is saying that it's a rumor. It hasn't been anything from John Cena himself, but a rumor is saying that John Cena is not going to do the show.
Really?
Doesn't have any interest in doing the show amidst all the controversy. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't he a Marine?
No, he wasn't a Marine. He just has the haircut and did a movie.
Oh, I thought he was an actual Marine at one point.
No, he's just a broski from Massachusetts.
Wow, what a bunch of bullshit. They really portrayed it because I thought he was.
He wore camo shorts. He has the haircut, did the dog tags, was in a movie called The Marine. No, Orton was. Orton was actually
he just panders
military.
to that like community.
Sure he does. And Marines are a bunch of broskies too. They dig Cena.
Well, I believe it. I mean, I'm not hating on Marines or anything. I'm just saying like they really make him out to be like he was a veteran or something. Right. But I guess they never actually call him that.
Nope. Yeah, because that'd be false advertising.
Well, you guys duped me, man.
They're that World Cup tournament, and I don't think they've announced the actual brackets for the matches, but a lot of great wrestlers in there. I mean, if Cena's there, you got Cena, Angle, Ziggler, and Seth Rollins. And then on SmackDown, you're bringing Randy Orton, The Miz, Jeff Hardy, and Rey Mysterio. So you're getting this A-list talent from the company, and they're going to hold a tournament that night. So
it has potential. That's for damn sure.
Now, what's likely is you got to believe that I don't think Kurt Angle's wrestling 3 matches at this point in his career. I don't even know if Cena's going to be the guy wrestling 3 matches at this point in his career. So you're thinking it might be more your workhorses, a chance The Miz. And it would make more sense, too, to maybe elevate one of your guys that's going to be there on every show.
Yeah.
You know, which I don't know what Rey Mysterio's deal is. If he's going to be there for a while every show.
He signed like a 2-year contract, didn't he?
I'm not really sure.
I know it was quite a long contract. I was like, wow, okay, he's going to be here for a while. So
I would think coming out of that, I'm thinking it might be a Seth Rollins or The Miz sort of thing to maybe elevate one of their own,
especially with
guys.
Roman leaving, Seth's probably going to become the new guy.
Yeah. I'll backtrack to Raw real quick. It felt like there was a big shuffling of the deck lately on Raw as far as heel and face turns even goes. Because it looks like maybe Braun might be going back to the face role. Being that Roman's gone, I guess you could kind of plug him back in because they're looking for that feud with McIntyre, perhaps. Which I don't know about you, but I'm still huge on McIntyre.
Oh yeah, I just
think that's a star and a half right now.
He should get a shot at the Universal title.
I think so. I think there's a good chance that Braun ends up winning the title. McIntyre's the first guy. You got a ready-made feud there. Elias turned babyface on Raw.
Yeah, I love Elias.
I love Elias too.
He's good in the ring. He's funny as shit.
Yeah.
Like when he
has a real natural presence.
Yeah.
Natural presence with
genuine.
the crowd. Yeah, I think so too. It's genuinely him out there, and like he has a real control of the crowd with his pacing and everything, the way that he talks. So a lot of guys get really amplified and but his delivery is always here. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's always, and it's slow. And it builds them. Now, a lot of guys don't get that time to do that, but he does, and he utilizes it to the best of his ability. Where he has them the whole time. Where really the only heel thing he ever does is bust on the home crowd.
Yeah, or maybe somebody his rival or whoever he's rival.
But even then, they usually end up cheering for him. Like Elias was Bobby Lashley, who also turned. Yeah. But you're behind Elias, so he smashed Baron Corbin, who is naturally very dislikable.
Oh, and I can't remember what he said, but that little ditty he wrote right before that
was good stuff.
Oh, it was great. He's so clever, dude.
Yeah. And you can tell he's enjoying what he's doing out there. So, yeah, I'm a big Elias fan.
Me too.
And I think the babyface turn was something that was ready to happen, even though he's probably more naturally set to be a heel.
Yeah.
He maybe ran the course a little bit, and they're going to go forward with him. And somebody's got to take that babyface spot because it's vacant right now.
Did you see Elias's episode of Ride Along?
I did not.
He stays in character the whole
time. No, I seen the people for 3 with Jerrod and the Road Dogg, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, but I did not see that.
Yeah, that's off subject, but while we were on Elias, man, that's good. Check it out, people.
Well, I'll check it out myself. Yeah. I started to backtrack there, but it seems like it's kind of shuffling the deck a little bit with your heels and baby faces.
But to go back to Bobby Lashley, I like Bobby Lashley. I don't love him or anything, and him going heel seems to make sense. But Lio Rush, I can't stand him.
Yep, but you know what? There's your heel.
No, you're right, but dude, he is the exact opposite of Elias. To me, he seems so not genuine.
No, it seems forced over the top and just annoying. But you know what though? That's more than what they were doing with Bobby Lashley. I don't blame it at all for doing it.
I guess it's working
because here's the thing: is our generation, man. Even though a guy like Bobby Lashley is talented and like everything about him, you would if Bobby Lashley showed up to you, Mark Thomas, as your wrestling federation and goes, I want to be one of your wrestlers, you were going to sign him in a heartbeat, right? He's everything that you want in a wrestler, but when he's feuding with Kevin Owens, who's our guy, You don't get the reaction that you want.
Yeah.
So what do you do with him? Though you put, a guy, because Bobby Lashley, again, by all accounts, seems like a naturally nice, likable guy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So you stick this little shithead asshole with him that builds him up, builds up the monster. He's Krang to the big robot body right now, where you're just talking shit. There's no reason to hate the robot. He didn't do anything wrong with the little asshole talking shit.
Yeah, from his belly.
And you want to see them both go down, right? So that's what they kind of got going on right now. I throw a lot of Turtles and Batman references in here.
You do. I like it, though. I get all of them, so it's fine with me.
It's relatable for anybody who checks us out that just friends of ours that like doesn't quite understand wrestling. If you throw in those comparisons, that makes sense.
Yeah, they get a better idea of what you're talking about.
Yeah. But like I said, man, shuffling that deck. Lashley with the heel, and you hate Lio Rush.
No,
guess what heels are supposed to do.
I know why I hate Lio Rush, and I know why it's working. You know what I mean? Like yes. I completely understand why.
I've heard Lio Rush is a talented dude, like from his indie stuff, and he's on 205 Live even from time to time. I haven't seen him wrestle yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The only time I ever saw him was when he popped up with Bobby Lashley.
Yeah,
I don't really watch 205 Live.
I haven't either. I heard he's a real talented dude. So you got 205 Live. We'll touch on this really quickly. When you watch that Super Showdown from Australia, what do you think about that Buddy Murphy Cedric Alexander match?
Really good,
man. I'm telling you right now, I'm a Buddy Murphy fan. That guy,
it was on at like
awesome
5 a.m, right? So I was getting up for work, and I was like, oh yeah, Showdown's on. So I just turned it on real quick, and that's the first thing I saw was him winning the Cruiserweight title, and I was like, oh sweet, I like he's what I haven't seen him for a while.
Yeah,
but apparently he's been on 205 Live, and I was like, good for him. Isn't that Alexa Bliss's dude?
Is it him or is it Blake? I don't remember.
You're right.
They were tag team, and I don't know which one is which. That's a bad thing when you're a tag team.
Whoever it is, he's a lucky dude.
Well, they're a lucky dude, A. And B, the one guy is just kind of toiling away on NXT. And Buddy Murphy, because they were a tag team in NXT. You could tell they weren't bad, but they didn't really do anything to move the needle.
Yeah.
Buddy Murphy's awesome, man. That guy can go. Cedric Alexander can absolutely go.
Yeah.
No surprise there at all. But Buddy Murphy, big fan. Great match. Probably the best match on that show, to be honest.
The cruiserweight matches that are on that I have seen, like when they throw them into pay-per-views or every now and then on Raw or something, like have been really good.
They've taken them off of Raw. I think they're trying to focus more on their own show,
which is probably good.
Yeah.
Stick to that. And
but I've watched here and there. The action is really good. But listen, despite what anybody says, and I kind of want to pull in Evan Wiley on this because he's always the guy that says like, oh, the best wrestlers. Like he thinks Lance Storm should be the champion of the universe because he thinks their best wrestler should get pushed to the top.
Lance Storm was good.
But I want to see if he watches 205 Live because nobody's going to tell. I won't ever tell you that Roman Reigns is a better wrestler than Cedric Alexander or even Buddy Murphy at this point.
Yeah.
But he's more over. He's got more of a character. He's somebody that I want to watch. And being in the business, that's ultimately where it is. You can get yourself over as a very good wrestler. You get Brian Davis and Daniel Bryan got himself over as the fucking best wrestler.
Yeah.
But the yes gimmick is what put him over the top.
For sure.
You know what I mean? CM Punk was a good wrestler. He's not the best wrestler, but he had an incredible character while he got to the top. John Cena is a megastar. Better wrestler than he gets credit for. I'm going to say that right now. Better wrestler than he gets credit for. But no, nobody's ever going to say he's AJ Styles or Daniel Bryan good.
No.
But he's bigger star than both of them because he has star quality about him. It's and 205 Live, going back to it, like we know there's the best actual physical wrestlers there, but whether it's the talent themselves or if it's the company not getting behind them, they don't. You don't get into that show like you should.
Yeah. I don't know. When it comes to me loving certain wrestlers, it's all about their ability in the ring and how interesting they are to me. Like their personality-wise, the way they talk, everything like that. The way they look, like if they look cool or whatever, or their gimmick is cool of some sort.
Right.
And I feel like a lot of 205 Live guys are just like, most of them don't have those factors. You know what I mean? Like they're kind of just really good wrestlers.
Yeah.
And they're more like, hey, we're fans of wrestling. I just see them as fans of wrestling.
That can be athletic and do cool stuff.
Yeah.
You want to get controversial again? You want to go back to talking about Bret Hart? There you go. So there's your guy who's incredible in the ring. And I'll even go with looks cool because the pink and black was an original thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what do I say on our controversial, underrated, overrated, available on YouTube, on iTunes, and all of our archives right now.
Yep.
I said about Bret Hart, I will never say that 97 Bret Hart was underrated or overrated, excuse me, because he was amazing. Because that was the only time where he ever had a character where I was tuned in and going, man, I fucking hate that guy.
Yeah.
Or man, I fucking love that guy, because he never gave you anything else except for he was good in the ring, looked cool, Other than that, I liked Bret Hart, but he was never really my favorite because he didn't draw you in like that until 97.
Yeah, when
he was with the Canada USA stuff where he was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying, and kind of turned it around on you by being anti-Bret Hart right now. I apologize.
I apologize. Again, I love Bret Hart, but to me, I still think Shawn Michaels is the greatest wrestler of all time.
I think so too.
We agree there.
I think for all the tools put together, I think Shawn's the best of all time. Josh is the one that actually will. He doesn't hate on Ric Flair, but he'll say, I don't see the Ric Flair in the ring like everybody else does. He said the promos. I don't think there's anybody that's going to go against saying that Ric Flair is one of the best promos of all time, because he absolutely is. But Josh says he doesn't quite see in ring. Yes and no, but I think part of that is just that we're so spoiled by everybody being so much better nowadays.
Yeah.
That honestly, you could probably find 5 Seth Rollins matches that are about as good as anything Flair ever did, but that's not Flair's fault. That the world of wrestling is just insane. The athletes, are so much better right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Flair was insanely good for his day.
In his day, what he did was the shit. Like, he was the most entertaining, and that's pretty much what wrestling was supposed to be back there. Just the most entertaining match was the best one. It wasn't even really about wrestling.
It wasn't about work rate, which, like, Ricky Steamboat was one of the absolute best. He was above and beyond everybody else then, and that's what got him separated from everybody else, but because he was the best of them.
Yeah.
Everybody else, it was your character, or it was your believability. Harley Race was a big time top guy. Cut a realistic promo. He wasn't over the top. He was he looked because that's what he is. He's your fucking grandpa that's smoking cigarettes and drinking PBR that will still beat voice. Your ass. That's the Harley Race is. Dusty Rhodes got over because he was a fantastic promo. Nobody ever loved the Dusty Rhodes match. I can't fire up the network and say, like, oh my God, you had to watch this Dusty Rhodes match. They don't exist. I mean,
he's just extremely lovable.
Yeah, there was, and he wasn't the worst or anything like that, but no, they weren't there. But his promos were great, and his relatability was great. That was the era, but that being said, kind of relaying all the way back into what we're talking about 205 Live right now, it's still a little bit the era. It's not necessarily the absolute best athletic guys. Being the best athletic helps.
Yeah. Seth
Rollins is one of the top guys, and he's incredible right now. AJ Styles is one of the top guys. He's incredible.
For sure.
But there's a little bit more than that. And if you're going to get over and only being the best wrestler, you have to be the absolute best fucking wrestler. You can't just be pretty good, because a lot of those guys on 205 Live are pretty good.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. 205 Live is the bottom tier, really. Like, they have everything. They have to be good wrestlers, but they lack everything else.
Right. Hey, I'll tell you what, man. This actually kind of got me interested. Let's do what we've been talking for a little while, having a lot of fun on our Big 10th episode. But let's replay back to our Gimme 5 episode, because I think this is a good one. And we didn't prep for this at all. Let's just shoot off the cuff.
No.
Top 5 promos of all time, not the individual promo themselves, but like which top 5 guys are the best promos?
Oh, top 5 guys that
top
the
5 guys, top 5 guys with promo ability. If you were, if you sorted it on your computer of promo ability, who would be from 99 to 95, like rating wise, of your top promo guys?
Number 1, Ric Flair.
Woo!
Exactly. Just like Joe Rogan says, that guy's so epic, he's got a sound attached to his name.
Correct. And we just did it. It.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw, but in his stand-up, he just said, Ric Flair. And all he did is put the mic out, and everybody wooed, and he goes, we did not even rehearse that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he's the fucking best.
He is.
I don't know about, like, if you ever, like, click on a Facebook video, like, a lot of times, like, there's the one right now of me coming into work if I hit the Mega Millions and it's Stone Cold like coming down whapping everywhere with chairs, and it's
I think I
awesome,
saw
right?
that,
So if
yeah.
you click on that video, the next one for me is like seriously always nobody's as lit as Ric Flair. It's always that, and I watch it every time. It's a minute and a half of him. Yeah. When you ride on Space Mountain, you'll be like this, and he flops down on the ground.
Legendary, the greatest
He's
the greatest promo cut of all time.
Yeah, he's the fucking man. Like there's just no two ways around it.
Number 2, Macho Man.
Okay, I'm not disagreeing here at all.
Always entertaining. I mean, the cream of the crop might be the second best promo.
And if everybody was talking about Macho
me.
Man is that he didn't have anything prepared at all. He just went out there and
half the time wasn't even facing the camera.
Yeah, turning your back to the camera and spinning back around and facing the camera again. Like that's
Poor
just,
Mean Gene, dude.
And Mean Gene said it was like he was always fun because you had to keep up with whatever he was doing. You didn't know what he was going to do.
Gotta love Macho Man so much. Shit, those are my 2 go-tos. 5's gonna be hard now that I think about it. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay.
For obvious reasons. He killed it all the time. He had so many different sayings.
My thing is that it was more the antics. Everyone remembers the antics, like the beer truck and the Zamboni and Bashing McMahon with the bedpan.
He incorporated a lot.
You're right.
into
No,
his
like
promos.
did he? The catchphrases and stuff like that. And by all means, I mean him on the microphone made tons and tons of money and sold tons and tons of tickets. So.
Yeah.
Can't deny that at all. But when I think Stone Cold, I think those moments. I think the filling the Corvette with the cement truck.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right, you're right.
That's what comes to my mind first.
Maybe not Stone Cold at 3, but he's in my top 5.
Okay, all right.
I can't, and this is probably a cliche one, but I can't talk top promos of all time without saying The Rock.
Okay, it's cliche because The Rock used a lot of cliches.
I guess that's true.
But again, I mean, there was a guy who just held the entire crowd in the palm of his hand when he had a microphone in his hand.
Absolutely.
You can't deny that at all. Like, and again, lots of catchphrases, maybe a little bit of rinse and repeat, but his rinse and repeat sold out arenas.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there was a time where I didn't like The Rock. At times where I'd be like, man, fuck
you get
The Rock.
tired of it.
But, no. This is before. It's like
okay.
once he started talking more, once he won me over with his shenanigans on the mic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was funny.
Oh, and he was quick-witted, too, because a lot of the stuff was improv. I read, like, Foley's books where he said a lot of the stuff that was in the ring just kind of happened between them, And,
as good as they were, they almost would have to be.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and number 5, shit, that might take me a second.
Well, you take a second.
Yeah, you
take
go
a
ahead
second.
and go.
Because I'm with you all day on the Nature Boy Ric Flair. All right, that's number 1 through and through. I'm with you on Macho Man, but Macho Man's going to be number 4, okay? Because I'm going to tell you who number 2 is. Josh and Jeff are both going to get pissed. Listen, Dusty Rhodes is number 2.
Oh, that's a good one.
Have you ever seen the Hard Times promo?
Oh, yeah.
God.
Hard times.
It's Hard Times. I mean, like, that's just... And that's not the only one. Like, there's a reason why he was a huge megastar. It wasn't because of his wrestling ability. It wasn't because of his marketability. That guy would talk everybody into an arena. Like, and you just fire up any single one of those old WCW, old NWA Jim Crockett tapes, and just anything, he would sell you into the building. The third guy is Roddy Piper, and that's another guy who is not. Again, Piper versus Brett, WrestleMania 8, very, very good match. I'd recommend that to anybody. Other than that, I don't have the Piper match for you to fire up and go, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But every Piper's Pit was good. Every time Piper cut a promo, the promo between Piper and Brett for WrestleMania 8 was just fucking fantastic. Like, it's so underrated. So Piper just was ahead of his time too, with being controversial. And that guy just had charisma just dripping out of him. So I got him at 3.
Okay.
Now at 5, because I told Macho Man's 4, and I agree with everything you say. I'm not disagreeing at all.
Yes.
5 is tough.
That 5
because I've been with you on like Stone Cold and The Rock, where you can't deny what they've done on the microphone. Have they sold a lot of tickets? Had held crowds in the palm of their hand. CM Punk is a guy that I'm thinking like it's hard to deny how great this guy was on the microphone.
Dude, you're absolutely right.
So all those guys are in my top 10 without question. Top 10 is almost easier than my top 5. So I gotta give that 5th guy. So it comes down between 2 guys. I got Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake was just incredible in the sense that, especially in that late 80s WWF, And you got Hulk Hogan, let me tell you something, dude. And you got the Macho Man and all of his intensity, and the Warrior and all of his crazy fucking intensity. It's just what everybody did. It's what Bruce the Barber Beefcake did. It was, I'm coming after you, you know.
Yeah.
Jake the Snake looked at you in the eye and said, don't trust me. I'm a snake. And he was, would just look at you in the eye and kind of bring it right back down, but he drew you in and made you hang on every single word.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which actually, as I'm sitting here talking about it now, I was going to tell you that Arn Anderson was my number 5, but he's not. Arn Anderson was amazing too, for the same sort of idea that he would talk you in when Ric Flair would be going on and the wild man. Arn Anderson would sit there and say, and we're going to beat you and we're going to whoop you because that's what we're going to do. Arn was awesome, but no, Jake's my number 5 because I think watch just old Jake the Snake promos, man. The Snake had a promo going into WrestleMania 6 with the $1 Million Man that's just amazing, and maybe as a little bonus snippet we can fire up the YouTube or something and show it to our viewers as we close out the show because I think it's a promo everybody needs to see.
No, I'm pretty sure I still have it. It hasn't canceled itself or anything, so.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe we'll do that shit.
So let's bring it back to you, man. You got a 5th guy.
See, you said a lot of them.
Yeah,
I forgot all about Roddy
Piper. I went right into my own top 10. I went on my own diatribe over here.
I didn't stand a chance. But yeah, I forgot all about Roddy Piper. He might be it, but man.
If you say Bret Hart, it's a homer pick, and I'm leaving.
No, I'm not. No, definitely not Bret Hart. I had one in my head, and I thought that might not be acceptable, but it was. Oh, yeah. Not a wrestler.
Okay.
But this guy knows how to talk, and especially back in the day, he cut some killer promos. But Paul Heyman. Yeah,
I can't deny you there. I can't really disagree with that.
Paul Heyman, he spits poetry on the mic.
I remember seeing Heyman in I don't remember which one. Maybe it was like Stone Cold's podcast, but he said his delivery, the way he does it, it's very, very simple. He starts off, my name is Paul Heyman. Okay, now you know who I am. Mm-hmm. I'm the advocate for Brock Lesnar. Now you know what I do.
Yep.
And I'm here to tell you why we're going to beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Now you know why I'm here.
Yep.
But there you go. Now you know exactly what you need to know. Now everything after that, okay. I know who you are, what you do, why you're here.
Now he can just go.
Now he's got you. Yep. Now he's got your attention.
Bada bing, bada boom.
I don't have any problem with Paul Heyman being on there. That's a pretty good pick.
No, it is. It's just, like I said, it might not be acceptable because he's not actually a wrestler, but he is, in fact, cutting promos.
Yeah.
And he takes some bumps sometimes,
Takes some bumps sometimes. Well, that was really the old school idea of the manager is that you would put him with a guy who didn't know how to talk. You put a guy who knows how to talk with a guy who doesn't know how to talk. You could put a guy who's 350 pounds, jack solid muscle, and you give him a Bobby Heenan because Bobby Heenan was going to tell you why this guy's going to kick your ass because the guy couldn't do it. Yeah. Really, that's Lesnar and Heyman as a whole. Nobody's ever said Lesnar was a great promo. Lesnar's a guy who's going to go out there and kick your ass. And Paul Heyman's going to tell you how he's going to do it, why he's going to do it, when he's going to do it,
Yep. Now that he's responsible for some people being as good as they are at cutting promos as they are now.
Sure.
Like Stone Cold
sure.
wouldn't be anywhere close to as good as he is cutting promos or just talking.
Oh, Heyman's been influential for so many guys. Heyman helped
CM
Mick Foley.
Punk too.
Helped CM Punk. Heyman helped a lot of guys. He was always a master. If we go back and talk about old ECW, he was great at hiding your negatives and highlighting your positives and going forward from there. That's Heyman in a nutshell, man.
For sure.
I'll tell you what, man. How about this? We've been rocking and rolling, talking for a while. Let's give our viewers a little bit of a bonus. We can fire up. It's either you don't have to fire up the network. I think it's on YouTube. If you fire up that Jake the Snake promo, it'd be a good way to close us out. Gotcha. While you're looking, you brought up something interesting I kind of wanted to talk about because it happened a little while ago, so it's a little bit older news. But Brie Bella knocking out Liv Morgan with the kicks. I'm sure you've seen it. What do you think? Did you think it was a? I'm half and half. The guy being in the ring. There's sometimes shit happens, and there's sometimes that it's a little bit reckless. And I think it was maybe a little bit of both. She kind of sold into the kick, but I don't think Brie Bella's the kind of type that should be winging hardcore kicks.
Brie Bella doesn't have the ability to be doing Daniel Bryan moves.
There you go.
And If I was Brie Bella doing that to Liv Morgan right there, I would have noticed that I fucking kicked her in the fucking head and she might be a little concussed at this point.
Yeah.
Not just go at it again while she's falling to the ground, knocked out, and fucking knock her out cold.
I'll tell you this, man. Yeah,
and then just sit there and look at her like, what just happened?
What
like,
just
you know
happened?
exactly what just happened.
No, you listen. I've been on both ends of it in the ring. You know what happens.
Exactly.
You've been on both ends where you accidentally get somebody, and somebody accidentally gets you, and you know. I mean, there's that feeling where you pick up a guy, they're just straight dead weight. You're like, ooh, okay. It's not even a knockout thing, but maybe just, sometimes you get just a smash on the nose where you just need that minute to just recover because you ever get popped in your nose, your eyes water up, it just knocks you stupid a little bit. Yeah. And it just kind of throws you off your rhythm for a little bit. So you kind of know, and that's right, the unfortunate thing. If an accident happens in the ring, it happens. Probably, being that she's been in the business for a while now, probably should have known better. Probably should have handled the situation a little better.
And I don't think the Riot Squad took that too lightly either, because there was at one point just after that happened in the same match where they went in there and they went after her, and at one point you hear Brie go like, "Are you guys serious?" Like, I think they fucking like.
I'll tell you this too. I don't know anything really about Liv Morgan. I think she's a straight up NXT product. But Sarah Logan was Crazy Mary Dobson. Ruby Riott was Heidi Lovelace. Those girls were on the Indies for a while.
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you something about the Indies for girls, man. Like it's a rough business out there.
I've read a few articles, saw some videos, but what's a guy, Sexy Star or something like that?
Well, Sexy Star is a lunatic, as from all accounts.
Yeah, from what I can tell.
These girls on the Indies, man, I mean, if you're in a nice building, they might get their own like bathroom or locker room, but a lot of times, you just like, I remember being at a spot in Alliance where we would have the girls, we'd basically have to build a box like behind the locker room, like we'd move shelves around to kind of build them like this little tiny cubby hole, because it's the only, I mean, and it wasn't, it's not like chauvinistic or anything like that, but it's like, the girls need the privacy to change, of course, but you don't always have bathrooms, locker rooms available at your armories or gymnasium, or gyms, or
they're no more catered to than the dudes are.
No, I mean, so girls that came up through the Indies, man, don't fuck with them. They're tough girls. I believe it. And they got to deal with both fans and dirtbag wrestlers. Always trying to to hit on them and try to take them home and shit like that. The girls on the Indies are nothing to mess with, and both Sarah Logan and Ruby Riott they're two of those girls. I've been on shows with both of them. Yeah, they're not girls that you want to mess with.
I believe it. Ruby Riott looks like she might be a little crazy. You know what I mean? And Liv Morgan looks like she might be a little crazy in that good way. You know what I mean?
I'll let you dwell on that point yourself, my friend.
But when it comes down to it, I'm still a Becky guy all the way.
Well, you gotta be a Becky guy all the way.
But which Jake the Snake promo?
Man, we got that right there. It's right for his match. No, WrestleMania 6. That's the one. It's a 1.5 minute promo. I think, I don't know about you, man. I think we've talked about quite a bit here today.
We have. Oh, this is definitely the way we're well over an hour, I believe.
Well over an hour. We had a lot of wrestling to cover tonight. I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And we're gonna give a little treat, and hopefully we don't become big enough where the WWE shuts us down, because we're gonna be sharing their property right now.
Oh, it is. You're right.
It's on the YouTube channel. That'll be all right.
It's on YouTube already. If not, I can find my ways. If not, we're starting it right now.
Jake the Snake Roberts, the match is at hand.
Well, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Here we are at WrestleMania, and it's the biggest match of your career. Why? Because everything you stand for is on the line, namely the $1 Million belt. Oh, yeah. It can be yours once again. You see, all you have to do to get it back is go through Damien and me. But you see, Damien and I don't forget. We remember all the times you made people grovel for your money. These were people far less fortunate than you. People who could use your money for essentials. And what did you do? You made fun of them. You humbled them, and you humiliated them. Well, now it's my turn. I'm going to make you beg, DiBiase. You are going to get down on your hands and knees. This time, you'll be the one that's humbled. This time, you'll be the one that's humiliated. And this time, you will be the one that grovels for the money. And how appropriate that the money you grovel for is your very own. A victim of your own greed, wallowing in the muck of avarice.
Longfellow couldn't have said it.
No.
Meet Jimmy to have that look of like, how the fuck do you top that?
Yeah, dude, that was a promo of almost biblical proportion right there.
That's Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake. We were both sitting here just watching, listening for what was next, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like I was sucked in from the man. Like I believe that he believed what he said.
And that's the thing about Jake. I don't know that he did. He was just that fucking good.
Yeah, he's probably a little fucked up too, from what I hear. Jake the Snake was pretty crazy.
That was 1980. No, that was 1990. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, probably.
But he was in probably the best shape of his life. So
and
right.
If you guys have a chance, go back and check out some Jake the Snake. I'll put him on one of my underrated lists the next time I go through it because
I think he was probably my first favorite wrestler.
Yeah. Because he was fucking cool.
He had a snake and shit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and when you got guys look like the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan, those aren't guys that you know. But Jake the Snake, man, that's a real dude with the fucking the snake gimmick and the way that those promos. Yeah, man, he can captivate you.
Yeah, shit.
With that,
yeah, thanks. That was number 10. You know what? I think we did make this one a little special.
I think so too. We had a lot to talk about. We you know what? We didn't even plan this. We brought back some Gimme Fives. We brought back some underrateds, overrateds. We actually did a little bit of a live showing. I think we did all right for number 10.
No, definitely.
Hopefully you did too.
Yeah, like maybe we plan on getting Jeff Hughes on the show. So maybe we'll count that as the special thing that we owe you.
A very special guest. Usually when we say very special, it means a very special episode. Somebody's going to get diddled or something like that.
Yeah, or
not going to happen here.
Public service.
Yeah, not going to happen here. We're just going to have a UFC heavyweight come on and talk about what pro wrestling means to him, and they talk about some of his favorite pro wrestling moments. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, with that said, this has been episode number 10. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends. And for the
we should have got Ty Dillinger on here.
We should perfect 10.
Perfect 10.
Oh, I didn't even think of
perfect 10. He hasn't anything better to do. He hasn't been on TV for a while. He probably could have done the podcast with us.
It's because of his haircut. His hair looks weird now.
It's not a good haircut.
No. But, for the audio listeners who don't actually know, we do this on YouTube. You can go to youtube.com/MattArcherMedia and watch the video versions of these. Put a lot of work into them, so I'd appreciate the views. And T-shirts available at mattarcher.threadless.com. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Helps us a ton.
It does. Gets us out
there. If
there.
you're a fan, just share it, and hopefully somebody clicks on it. If that somebody clicks on it, and they share it, and somebody else clicks on it, and we get that ball rolling because Mark works really hard behind the scenes.
I do.
I don't work hard at all. I just enjoy talking wrestling with my buddy and sharing this with you guys. So.
He works hard with his brain. He's got a lot of knowledge up here.
Don't give me too much credit there.
But this episode just proved it, man. We killed it. Probably our best episode yet.
I think we've been killing it.
You're right.
We've been rocking and rolling lately, and I think we're going to keep getting better.
You're absolutely right.
If anybody's out there listening and has ideas for the next couple of episodes, throw some ideas to something you might want us to talk about. Something that I'm thinking about doing is Mark watches ECW. I think that's something we need to do. Mark's missed a lot of good stuff. I bring up a lot of good stuff, and Mark just hasn't seen it. I think maybe we can find an old ECW show and we can all watch along together or something like that.
Absolutely. Let us know if you think that's a good idea. Go ahead and comment on this or whatever. Let us know if you think that's a good idea.
Comment,
maybe give us some
message
suggestions for it.
Anything that you can do to let us know that you're listening or watching. That we appreciate it.
Absolutely. Again, thanks for watching because you've obviously got to this point. Or
listening. I won't be watching. I'm too handsome for myself to handle. So you're listening on your iTunes or your Stitcher. Thank you so much.
Yep. And until next time.
Bye, Internet.